This week's Parshas Shemos. Klal Yisrael start becoming slaves for Paroi. All the Shvatim have died, and Klal Yisrael have descended into spiritual slavery to Paroi, and as a result, physical slavery. And as we know, Golus Mitzrayim is an ongoing reality. Golus Mitzrayim is the beginning of the Jewish people. Klal Yisrael became 70 people, which is 70 is the amount which makes them into a nation. So Maral points this out and others for him that Klal Yisrael went down to Mitzrayim when they had 70 souls. And when was the last soul born? Yocheved was born Ben Chemos as they arrived, which means that Klal Yisrael were born into Golus. They were never a nation before Golus. This is very fascinating because it tells us that our starting point in life, and really every day, is in Golus. We start off the day lost in the ego, in the self that doesn't want to grow, doesn't want to think about the bigger picture. It just wants easy pleasures, self-gratification. And that's just a natural human state, because the human soul doesn't belong in the body. It doesn't belong in the ego. An animal is happy being an animal. A cat is happy being a cat, because the soul of a cat is the cat's soul. It belongs there. It's happy to just do what it does. The human soul is automatically not happy being limited by the body. It's because the soul knows of something way bigger than the body. So unless the soul is aligned with the body, and the body is aware of the truth of the soul, the truth of the mind, then we will feel an exile. We won't feel connected to our deeper, truer self. And that is what Golus Mitzrayim is. Now Rizal says that Golus Mitzrayim was the Golus of Das. Paroi is the letters of Ha'iref, which means the back of the neck. Paroi was standing behind our Das, which is in the neck. He strangled us, which means he strangled the awareness of the mind and of the soul to be able to come and flow down into our experience, into our emotions, into our body, because Paroi didn't want us to be aligned with our truer self. Paroi wanted us to be under him, under his control. What's the Paroi's control? The ultimate ego. Paroi says, Li oiri v'ani asisani, the river is mine, I made myself. I'm self-sufficient. The Avodah Zarah of Mitzrayim was the Nile, because the Nile is what gave them their sustenance. They didn't need any rain. They felt self-sufficient. They didn't need anything. They didn't need Hashem. They didn't need anything bigger outside of them. They got this. And that is the biggest klipa, the biggest golus, because when we tell ourselves that we're not part of the bigger picture, and we don't need anything outside of us, then we're trapped in our egos, and then we start feeling shame and guilt, and we have to be in denial about the things we're not good at, and we boast about the things that we're semi-good at, and we make as if that we're just the best. So much so, like we know Paroi had to make as if he doesn't go to the bathroom. He's just so in denial of his natural human state. So being in Golus Mitzrayim is where we're just confused and depressed, because we're not aligned with our deeper purpose and deeper what makes us really valuable. Because what makes us really valuable is that we're part of the bigger picture, that we're part of this universe, and we're part of Hashem, and part of the bigger picture. And we need the ego as well, and that's so important. There's something Chassidus tells us. The ego is not a bad thing. The ego gives us the drive to become better, to achieve, to grow. Because if we wouldn't have the ego, we wouldn't really feel that we have responsibility, that we have anything to work for. So what we got in Mitzrayim was realizing that Golus Mitzrayim gave Klal Yisrael the realization that living without mindfulness and awareness of what we truly are is going to end up bad. It's going to end up hard work. And it was gradual in Mitzrayim. First they just went there, lived in Goshen, it was fine. Then slowly they started working for pay, and then they started working harder, and it got just worse and worse, because once we go down the route of ego, there's going to be a parade that's going to be better at ego, and he's going to be on top of you, and he's going to win the battle. So Talasol called out to Hashem, and they were like, we're ready. Vayamin ha'am, they had a munah in the bigger picture. They knew that they're bigger than that. They knew the Bnei Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and they said, we're ready to leave this, and we're ready to go into the midbar after Hashem, and go into the unknown, because the ego at the end of the day is a comfortable place to be. Because it's not about growth, it's easy, it's instant, it's fun. But Klal Yisrael became ready to go into the unknown and be makabel the Torah. And what's the Torah? The Torah is the ability to live in this world with our egos, with our bodies, but with an awareness of Hashem's infinity in the world, with an awareness of who we truly are. So this is the Avodah of Galus Mitzrayim, and we're constantly in Galus, and that's why we say Parshas Mitzrayim every day, because we're constantly stuck in our egos and our self and laziness, and that's just who we are. And the Tanya, whose Yotzar is today, points out that we're always going to be stuck there. We're never actually going to get rid of this ego and this self-centeredness. We can try and tame it a little bit, we can try and put it under some kind of control that it shouldn't get out of place, when other people are around. But ultimately, the ego is going to stay there. But we can constantly get a breath of fresh air by doing some mitzvahs, by doing something good for someone else, by learning Torah, by connecting to our deeper self. Through our ego and through feeling powerful and important, but for a real reason. So Be'ez Hashem, we should be zeicher through Torah and mitzvahs, and through kindness, and all kinds of good things that we can do with our neshama awareness. We should manage to be zeicher to geula shlema and get rid of this galus forever and ever. Amen. Shabbos.